So last night I was thinking about, all week I've been thinking about filming the next episode for Libertarian Links webcast, and I wanted to do it in Endert's Beach, which is a park around here. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful places. Last week I took my couple of friends down there, and I just wanted to go and shoot down there where it's beautiful, have a nice background. And then I saw on Facebook last night a post that it was closed because of the government shutdown. So I want to go down and I want to see if I can talk to a ranger, see if the park's actually closed, and maybe get some information. How's it going? Good.
This area is closed due to the federal shutdown.
Why is it closed though? I never see anybody down there.
Well, this is a federally owned beach,
Uh-huh.
so this is a national park that you just entered. So all our national parks are closed because there is no funding for the national parks.
How does the funding? Do you know how the shutdown and the funding affects?
Now, being videotaped?
Yeah.
Hey mom, hey dad.
Doing the thing, but do you know anything? Can you tell me anything about what you know? How the cut in the funding or the shutdown affects the actual operation of the park?
Well, I'm not a politician, so I can't tell you everything. But I will say that because this is federally maintained, the roads are maintained by federal. The grass is mowed, the trash and the waste are taken care of. It's patrolled, and criminal activity is kept out. All that's federally funded. So when that goes away, then those amenities aren't available to the public.
Okay.
My authority, in case you're wondering, comes from United States Code of Federal Regulations, Title 36, Section 1.5R, and this would be a violation of a closure if you were to go past that area. So we've been instructed by the Secretary of Interior to close the parks.
And if, say that a group of people were to gather down here, because I've seen people talking about it on the internet, and they tried to breach your blockade here, what would happen? Would they be detained and potentially subject to arrest for trespassing?
Well, they certainly could be. I think it would be somewhat subjective, and it would be pending on the circumstances of how that would unfold. But they could certainly be detained because they're violating the law. And I just gave you the nomenclature for that law.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're wondering more, just to help you out, Article 1, Section 9, Paragraph 7 of the Constitution, no money shall be drawn from the Treasury, but a consequence of appropriations made by law, and a regular statement and account of receipts and expenditures of all public money shall be published from time. So we have to have money to be here.
You are
Okay.
prepared.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate
All right, no
your
problem.
time.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience, and I really appreciate your cooperation.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Have a good day.
You have a grandstand seat here to one of the most momentous events in the history of science. In less than a minute, you will see the most powerful explosion ever witnessed by human eyes.
Well, at least an explosion of knowledge. Welcome to the truth. It's been waiting. With commentary on the news, reviews, and interviews, it's the Libertarian Links webcast.
Welcome to the Libertarian Links webcast. Thank you for joining us again. And that interview I did this morning, I was actually going to go down to that area and shoot the episode today. And I saw on Facebook last night that it was blocked off and that the park was closed. So I wanted to go and figure it out. I put together a list of questions to ask anybody I would come in contact with. And actually there was a picture that I saw that had 2 lounge chairs as the part of the blockade. So I thought there was going to be 2 rangers there today. There was only one. And the guy was really nice, very informative, and good-humored. Seemed like a really great park ranger. And so I didn't want to play a game of gotcha with him. You know, he was talking about how they cut the grass and they make the area look nice and there's a lot of upkeep. It's true. There is, but I've never seen anybody down there. I've never seen any of that going on in all of the times I've gone hiking. And as a matter of fact, there's 2 latrines down there that are filled with poop. I went down there with some friends of mine last week. They wanted to use the restroom, and it was overflowing. And so part of my questioning was, well, if there's all this stuff going on, then why are the garbages? But you know what? He's the park ranger. It's not his job to clean the toilets. And so he doesn't know. I didn't feel like trying to make him look stupid. I didn't think that was fair because he was a nice guy. And it's not his fault. He's just following orders. And if it was rude, confrontational, aggressive, I wanted to ask, when do you not follow orders? What is that order that you get that's so dumb or bad against morals that you say, I'm not going to do this? But the guy was nice. I just didn't want to be a jerk to him. And I'm a rookie. I'm a rookie interviewer. I'm a rookie with this show. So, maybe next time I'll be a bit more aggressive. Speaking of rookies, I'm wearing a jersey today to support my 2 nephews who both had football games this weekend. Nice job, guys. Yes, I went to one of the games on Friday, and it was a blowout, man. My nephew's team just tore the pants off of the other guys, so good job. Back to the stories in the first one, goes along with this interview. Park ranger admits being told to make life as difficult as possible for people. A federal park service ranger admitted being ordered to make life as difficult as possible in order to make Americans feel the most pain as a result of the partial government shutdown brought about by Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid's refusal to work with Republicans on a plan to fund the government while not funding or delaying parts of Obamacare, the Washington Times reported Thursday. Now, if you haven't been following the shutdown news, basically it's because the elections are coming up, the 2014 midterms, and Republicans have to fight Obamacare. If they don't, there is a very strong likelihood that the voters are going to come out and knock these Republicans in the head, and a lot of them are going to lose their seats. So they have to fight Obamacare because it's so unpopular with their constituents. On the other side of the coin, Democrats are also up for re-election. And if they don't support Obamacare and fight for it, they can't count on the president's support in their campaigns. And he's the leader of the party as the president. So they both have to fight for Obamacare, and then now we've got this funding crisis, and no one's willing to give. The Republicans said, we're going to delay Obamacare for, the House voted to delay Obamacare for a year under their budget, and the Senate said, no way, we're not going to pass that. So Republicans in the House went back. They did another law which looked almost exactly the same, another budget, delayed Obamacare for a year, and the Senate said, no, we're not doing it. So then the government shut down. So this is basically all over Obamacare. And now the president is having a tantrum. King Obama, the first, is furious. And his anger is sweeping across the country. Like the interview we just saw. They take their orders from the Ministry of the Interior, which answers to the White House. The White House sets the policies for the Interior. And Obama's not liking what's going on. He doesn't like the shutdown. He doesn't like that people don't want his law. And so we feel all the way out here on the West Coast, on the edge of the continent, a park that almost nobody probably knows exists in Redwoods. It's Redwoods National Park, but that specific area isn't Redwoods National Park. It's a beach. It's called Endert's Beach. There's a road that goes down with a trail that ends at the beach, and there's some hiking going on. It's not the Redwoods area. It's part of Redwoods National Park. But the actual redwoods are further down the highway. This is just a small area that's absolutely gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite places to go. And King Obama says, make life as miserable as you can. And so that's what they have to do. They're following orders. And so now, way out here, we get the results of the tantrum. Unfortunately, some of our most valued citizens get the tantrum also. As you'll see in our next story, honor flight to the World War II memorial in jeopardy due to shutdown. These are veterans of World War II. These are guys who saw their buddies get killed. They gave up big portions of their lives right in their prime to go and fight against the Germans and the Japanese. And they have a memorial in Washington. Now, these guys were flying over there to see the memorial, and it's shut down. I put a picture up on the Facebook page a while back that shows our border, which is protected with chicken wire, and then the World War II memorial that's barricaded with chains and locks and metal retaining walls. It's ridiculous. Well, these veterans were having none of it, and they stormed the blockade. Many elderly veterans, some in wheelchairs, broke through the barriers. And this is from northwestohio.com, which is a news source. Many elderly veterans, some in wheelchairs, broke through the barriers set up around the memorial as police and Park Service employees and tourists looked on. The Germans and the Japanese couldn't stop us. They weren't going to let the barriers contain them today. They wanted to see their memorial. So these guys pushed through, and kudos to them. It's beyond me how fickle and how ridiculous this is. It's like with the sequester, how the president closed the White House to tourists. He doesn't own the White House. We own the White House. And we allow him to live there when he's elected. But we're not allowed to visit because of the sequester. Now, our national parks are shut down in punishment. And I will let you know that a lot of these national parks, including the World War II Memorial, they are privately funded. They're not public funds aren't used to run these places, and the World War II Memorial isn't even staffed. There's no staff. They're just closing it to be spiteful, and just like this park ranger said, to make life as miserable as they can for Americans, so that we understand how badly we've hurt our king. Our king wants his program, and how dare we take it away from him? How dare we fight it and prevent him from reigning and rolling in his budgetary money and spending us into oblivion? How dare we do that to him, right? Well, these veterans, they were in Washington, and in another place, there was a woman who crossed a barrier, and she paid for it with her life. The other day, when I first saw this story, the only thing that we saw about it was shots fired at the Capitol. So my first thought was, it's a Reichstag moment. There's an attack going on. It's a setup. They're trying to bring in martial law and clamp down on us and take guns away. It's shots fired at the Capitol. Fortunately, it wasn't that. It wasn't the Reichstag moment. It wasn't a attack, a false flag attack to bring in martial law. But it reminded me that at any moment anything can happen. This woman was from Connecticut, and she had a psychiatric problem. She believed that Obama was communicating to her through radio waves. And this isn't the first time we've heard this in recent days. The Navy shooter, and I didn't do a story about this, but I really wanted to. He carved on the stock of his weapon, my ELF weapon. And he believed that the government was harassing him with ultra-low frequency weapons. Not going to get into that. But she believed Obama was communicating to her and went to the White House and ran a barricade and ended up dead. Let's show this video. Connecticut, FoxNews.com. Connecticut woman gunned down in D.C. believed Obama was communicating with her, official says. The suspect in the high-speed chase between the White House and the Capitol building was identified Friday by a law enforcement source as a dental hygienist from Connecticut with a history of mental issues. The source identified the woman as Miriam Carey, 34, of Stamford, Connecticut. Carey tried to plow her car into a barricade at the White House, then led cops on a high-speed chase before being shot dead near the Capitol, according to reports. You guys just saw the video. I saw the video. To me, it looks like she's trying to get away. It doesn't look like she's trying to gain entrance. Besides that, where's she going to go? She can't get her car through that barrier. This really, really troubles me. This really, really bothers me. I've had the feeling for a long time that at any minute, any one of us could be considered a criminal or a threat. At any moment, we could accidentally or be forced into committing a crime that lands us in prison for the rest of our lives. We are living in a police state where the laws are there not just to protect people, but to create obstacles to people, in my opinion. This poor woman, she goes to Washington. She's got her baby in the car. She's crazy. She's got a mental problem. She's undergoing psychiatric treatment. She ends up in a place on purpose, but not meaning any harm. And her car gets surrounded by guys with guns. Now, put yourself in her position. You don't think you're doing anything wrong. And all of a sudden your car is surrounded by guys pointing guns at you, screaming at you. Now, the smart thing to do in that kind of a situation is to recognize, oh, it's the police, and get out of your car and, avoid escalating the situation. But this woman's not in her right mind. She's not thinking clearly. She tries to escape. She pulls away. She hits a cop car, which is assault. If you hit a police car, you've assaulted an officer. If you pull away from a police officer who's trying to grab you, it's assaulting an officer. You just assaulted an officer. You're face down in the dirt. You're going to jail. She tries to pull away. She tries to escape. They fill her car with bullets. It's disgusting. It's sickening. I can't say it as well as Michael Savage does. He says it fantastically.
See, go ahead. You're on the Savage Nation.
Hi, Michael. I have to disagree with you on this 100%. She did something that was illegal in a secure, sensitive area. She fled from the cops, and they...
So she deserved to be killed. You're right. That's how it's done in a fascist state. If you don't follow orders exactly, you deserve to get killed. That's very. So you must be an honest to God conservative, huh? A real card-carrying Reaganite.
No, I'm pretty much an independent, but I also...
Well, an independent fascist, I see. Is that a new division of the Liberal Party?
When the police tell you to stop, you stop.
Well, that's right, because they're God Almighty, and if you don't stop, you get executed, even if you're not armed. Is that the law of the land? Is that what you want to live? Is that the country you want to live in?
We interrupt our programming. This is a national emergency.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special message. The following content contains graphic
Images and viewer discretion is advised. And it is advised. The following videos can be a little disturbing. And I also would like to preface that with the fact that this is not directed at all police officers. I know a lot of police officers who are public servants who do their jobs honorably. They're very compassionate individuals who are there to serve and protect. This is not directed at them. This is directed at the other kind of police officer. There, in this current environment in our country, laws, and a lot of times, can be obtrusive and repressive. And they set up barriers that if we cross them, we can be in trouble. It's like the situation with the national parks. The government says close them. They put up barricades, and then they set park rangers, who are police officers, to prevent people from crossing. What happens when we cross? In a lot of ways, there are laws like that. And so these police officers need to ask themselves the question, when is too much? When have I gone too far? What order is it that I will not follow? And I believe that will come into play when there is a confiscation of firearms. Already in our community, our sheriff, who is one of those fantastic cops, says that he will not confiscate firearms. California has rejected the indefinite detention that Obama wants in the NDAA from 2011. So there are plenty of good cops out there, but there are bad ones that will do their bidding. And if you cross the line, you can be in trouble. These are the ones that I'm talking about in this video.
Action should be taken. This is an emergency action notification. This station has interrupted its regular...
Last summer, in Ashland, Oregon, not very far from here, there was a girl with autism who had gotten out of her parents' house late at night, and she was naked. This girl loved cars. So when she got out of the house, she searched, she found a car, and she chased it. She ended up on a major highway, I-5. She was naked in the middle of the night, walking on the highway.
Reported seeing a naked female child wandering along the side of a highway. A state trooper arrived and shot the 11-year-old with a taser. The department claimed that the action was justified because the child, who suffers from autism, was headed into traffic. However, eyewitness Adam Bednar insists that this wasn't the case. The girl's father pointed out in an interview with InfoWars that the state police consistently misrepresented the incident, describing the child in official reports as a woman and suggesting that she was combative, rather than merely being confused.
They tased her, and she fell to the ground. As a father, that worries me and bothers me. In this situation, this woman was a mother. She was a sister. She was a friend. She had problems. She had mental problems. And she was killed because she made a mistake. She was executed because she made a mistake. And these police officers are being called heroes by our politicians and by the media. Where is the outrage? Where is the outcry? If this had been done in a small town and a black woman was killed by white cops who was unarmed and had a baby in the car, the cop would be suspended, there would be an investigation, and it would be all over the news. Police brutality. This is awful. We've got a problem in America. You're right, we do have a problem in America. Why is there no outcry from Washington over this? Why is the news being silent about this? Where is the... This could have been my sister. This could have been my son. Remember when Trayvon Martin was killed, what Obama said? Oh, this could have been Trayvon Martin. If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon Martin. And later, 30 years ago, why could have been Trayvon Martin? Well, guess what? This could have been your daughter. This could have been your sister. This could have been any of us. And because it was done by Obama's security, the Secret Service and the Capitol Police, the entire media, and all of the politicians You're heroes. Thank you so much for killing that innocent interloper. She was in a place she didn't belong and you killed her. Oh, that woman. She should never have crossed. She should have obeyed your every order. She didn't bow at your feet when you said get out of the car. Stop the car. She was crazy. And you killed her. Who gave the order? Why are there no investigations? Was it a cop on the ground? Was it someone on the ground who saw this going on and pulled the trigger first and then others followed suit? Or was there someone watching a video camera in a back room, down underground somewhere, who said, pull the trigger, kill her? We'll never know. There will never be an investigation because this was done by Obama's security. And King Obama, he needs to be protected from people who think that he's talking to them.
At the outset,
it's disgusting.
I joined the majority leader in expressing our gratitude to the Capitol Police.
There's another video I saw here recently. I don't want to drone on and on about this woman. But she was murdered. She was executed in cold blood. She was doing something, yes. She was in a place she shouldn't have been, but she had no weapons. She had a baby in the car. My gosh! Are we at this point in America where we'll swallow something like this? Oh, her car was the weapon. At any point, any one of us could be viewed as a threat, as a criminal. I'm telling you. Anyway, there's this other video that I saw a couple weeks ago. It made me so angry and so sick to my stomach that I recorded something for the show right away after I saw it, but I didn't want to use it because it was pure emotion coming out of me over what I had seen. And here's the video.
You guys request Toledo police here, please.
Yeah. Toledo, buddy.
Buddy, guess what? Private property. This fucking private property.
Nobody shut up.
Call a different car.
Nobody trusts you.
Nobody trusts you. I never left my
what
truck.
to do, you'll do it.
I don't have to.
Yes,
I got rights too. I'm here about to get schooled under law, pal.
You'll see.
You're gonna see. You don't even know who the...
Who the hell are you?
I'm the freaking property owner here, and I got more friends than you can count on your hands and feet, both in Washington Township. You think because I live in the trailer park, I didn't think I wasn't somebody else?
You know who you are. You don't approach a police officer.
Nobody approach. You just lost your job. You just lost your job. I got two babies in that motherfucking truck.
Good for you, because you're going to jail.
I'm not going to jail. What am I going to jail for? You see all these witnesses right here?
Hey, I don't need that. I gotta call 911. Hang on. What the fuck?
Did somebody get Toledo police on the phone?
I'm trying to, Aaron.
You said we want Toledo PD here. We want Toledo PD. Yeah, because I was called.
911, right?
Shut up.
I got the right.
Aaron, seriously,
don't.
Aaron, shut up.
Just keep that video rolling.
Get up!
I can't get up. You're fucking
get up! Or what, man?
Yeah, we need Toledo police here at 165 Pine Ridge.
Get in.
I need Toledo police here at 165 Pine Ridge in Washington Township. We get an officer in distress right now.
Okay?
phone too because I tried calling.
Who are you? The police
Yeah, Raintree Village.
That's what you listen to.
You had no
Yeah.
right to
I
go
told
by
you
the
to get out of the truck.
Yeah, get him here now. We get him here now. We get an officer in distress.
Do what? 89.
You had no right to slam him or any of us on the
Yeah.
ground.
I got all of this.
Jim Stexschulte.
All you're doing is harassing everybody in this car. Yeah, you are.
419-944-7350.
What happened?
No. This officer needs some help. He's got 3 people right now that are just outright, and he's going to tase one of them, so...
He should have went to church.
Not that I know of, no.
I'm trying, son of a bitch!
Yeah, pretty...
Hey!
Yeah, he just put her down, yeah.
I couldn't stand up! I had no right to fucking touch you like that!
We're getting him right now.
God!
It's ridiculous.
You guys are he's pushing me up against the truck!
You just keep filming.
No! Would you stop?
Okay.
No!
Okay.
No! It's
All
raining,
right.
my arms are here!
I don't
What
know.
the fuck?
The officer...
She has her arms up above her fucking head.
On the story right now, they're making it look like
He made his traffic stop and
He's got the whole rain tree here, dude.
all of a sudden it's
sit your
like...
ass on the tailgate. Videoing that? Sit. Sit up there.
I am!
Hey, somebody else got a phone. I used to make my next wife. I got 2 babies in that fucking
Okay. Well, you gotta get
Hey,
somebody here.
can you get Aaron a phone? He's got 2 babies in the car. In that truck, he's got 2 babies.
Hang up the phone.
I'm calling Toledo Police.
This is not the city of Toledo, and they're already on their way.
What are you afraid
So
of?
hang up the phone. There you go. Go. Get out. Go. I don't need you people. Go.
What you're saying is you don't need witnesses?
Well, it's all on camera anyway. It don't matter.
You know it's on camera.
Yeah.
This is the kind of attitude, gung-ho attitude, that got this woman in D.C. killed. Quick on the trigger and aggressive. Now, maybe in D.C., they're on edge because they're in Washington, everything that's going on, they're trying to protect the president who nobody likes, and they're expecting something to pop off at any time. That still doesn't justify murdering this woman. This guy doesn't have that excuse. He has this poor family on the ground, and he is menacing them. And people who are around watching are calling the police to come out and help them. This is disgusting. I can't even believe it. Dr. W break. Had to throw that in there for my Rochester people.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.